Rocket fist! Wow! Wow! Hello, viewers of the internet. Welcome back to Knuckles, or Sonic Adventure DX Knuckles Story Part 2. We are going to finish up Knuckles' story here, ladies and gentlemen. But first, I check the map. Because, unfortunately, when you can't fly over the jungle like Tails, this map can be very annoying. Also, there's a lot of invisible walls that that if you touch, even graze them, it brings your momentum down to a halt. And the camera was acting weird there. But anyways, we pick up the statue that's at the entrance, and we take it over here, which I took it to the wrong side of the temple, unfortunately. Again, it's another one of these pedestal things. There's a lot of these around in Mystic Ruins. But again, luckily, you don't have to be too accurate with putting it down, because it sort of finds its own way there. But more things weren't like that. But anyways, we got yellow gloves for Knuckles, and now we're going to be tackling the next stage in Sonic Adventure. Once we get the second. Again, how do you know to come here? You don't. You gotta explore. But I don't know how I ever figured this out as a kid. I think I just played these games for way too long. So anyways, you put the two pedestals in there, and you fall through the floor. Wow, the hitbox for the floor actually disappears before the actual graphic disappears. That's pretty funny. But anyways, this is his fourth stage, Lost World. This one is not as exciting of a stage. Yeah, you got the walking on walls things, but it really doesn't matter when Knuckles can already climb on the walls. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, how was your week? Mine has been not too bad so far, but anyways, I'm trying to think of discussion topics. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is probably a good indication that I should not continue format like this. But, the new, to date this video, the new, Star Wars show, Bad Batch, started today. And I've seen the first 15 minutes so far, and I will say it is absolutely freaking amazing. That animation team really knows what they're doing now. They've only had seven seasons of the Clone Wars to figure it out. But I won't spoil anything. But man, I will say this: they're even making Star Wars Rebels better in my books. I wish the creators of that show could actually fix Star Wars Rebels, make a better version of it. It wasn't a bad show. It just wasn't a great show. Not like Disney only made it to get people to shut the heck up about the Clone Wars being such a great series. That was really weird. I don't actually remember glitching through the floor like that. But anyways, and now Knuckles' feet is permanently fused with a stone. That would be a horrifying fate. But anyways, yeah. Disney only made Rebels to get everybody to shut up about Clone Wars being so good, and the fact that Disney canceled them. Unfortunately, after about 4 seasons of trying to fill the Clone War shoes, or the Clone War niche, and then, you know, turns out, it still sucked. Luckily, Disney finally got some sense and allowed the Clone Wars to come back for the 7th season. Unfortunately, the 7th season was completely rushed. It only had 12 episodes as well, which I think was the shortest season of all the Clone Wars. But the guy who directs that show was also directing like Mandalorian and everything else. So, you know, he obviously doesn't have a lot of time to do a whole lot of other things. But one thing Disney is doing right with the Star Wars right now is the TV shows. Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 being amazing, and also with Clone Wars Season 7 being amazing, and it looks like Bad Batch is going to be amazing too. So Disney, keep up the hard work, and thank you for actually making a Star Wars medium that doesn't suck, because the movies have sucked, unfortunately. Number 7 wasn't terrible. It was great to see, things with our 21st century animation technology. But man, it would be amazing if we could live in a world where the original um, Star Wars movies, episode 4, 5, and 6, was made with today's technology. Like, same actors, same ages, but today's 3D animation, those movies would be absolutely phenomenal. Like, they were revolutionary even at the time. And they'd be just so much better. But anyways, we get this little scene of Knuckles putting the Master Emerald back together. Now, I don't know how many pieces are there. Viewers, pause the video and count how many are there and see if we actually have an accurate amount. I'll give them props. I'll give Sega props if the number of emerald pieces is the same number we've collected so far. How many have we done? 4 stages? That should be 12 pieces. But there's still a chunk of it missing. And apparently it's this terrible 3D image of the egg carrier inside. It's a ship in a bottle. So apparently that tells Knuckles that he has to go there. Which is weird because we have no indication of the Master Emerald being a fortune-telling orb. Anyways, this robot just fell out of the sky. And now he's walking really slowly. Well, his walking animation is really slow. But anyways, it's E102 Gamma. We've met him before. But this is Knuckles' turn to meet him. So, again, we end up here after the Fever Dream, so now we gotta go back to Eggman's base, which is back in the other part of Mystic Ruins. Knuckles spends a lot of time here in his story. But now we gotta go back to the other part of Mystic Ruin that we left in order to collect the last 3 pieces of the Master Emerald. Got one more stage, folks, and then we're done. We're done this horrible, boring playstyle. I shouldn't say that. It's not a terrible playstyle. I know it's for a lot of people it's considered one of the worst out of the 6 playstyles. But it's not the worst. You can definitely fight me on that. Big the Cats is by far the worst. You can't argue that, unfortunately. But I don't know what that weird pause was there. I'll cut that out if it's not supposed to be there. But anyways, yeah, we get to we find where Eggman's base is, which, big spotlights shining through the jungle. I don't know why more people aren't finding this place. Now the Eggman carrier being hidden in the trees, now that's kind of cool. And that makes sense. Man, I think I've said this before, but the Friends of the Rainforest and groups like that, they must absolutely hate Eggman. Building his secret base and tearing up acres and acres of pristine jungle habitat. Not that Eggman cares. His literal whole shtick is that he captures animals and implants them inside of robots in order to give them advanced processing power. So I don't know if I collected an emblem so far. Throughout the I think this was added into Sonic Adventure DX. I don't know if it was part of the original, but as you explore, another incentive to explore these hub worlds is that you find, you know, emblems. The things that we've been collecting at the end of every stage, you can actually just find them around the hub worlds. So, the Eggman carrier has changed again. Again, we know that from Sonic and Tails' story. So this is where Knuckles was when this happened. Now, I get kind of lost here. And, I forget which way I'm supposed to go. I can't go here as Knuckles. Again, I know this game really well, but it's been a while since I played it. So, give me a break, AJ. I don't need any of your sass. I don't need you bullying me on my own videos, okay? But anyways, I finally come to my senses and realize where I have to go. So, oh yeah, I don't know why they keep giving the characters these weird inner monologue scenes, but anyways, if I just grab that and go to the next stage. Next stage is Skydeck. So, if you remember to Sonic's version of Skydeck, when we got to this section, the stage got tilty, very tilted. Well, there's actually a point to that. We'll go back to it in a second, but there's a gimmick to this stage as Knuckles. Some of the emeralds are hidden behind shutter doors, as we'll see here. And unfortunately, we can't get in them. We can't dig through them. This place is all metal. We can't dig, you know, just anywhere. There are some spots we can dig, not everywhere. So what do we do here? Well, we come up here and we flick this control stick. And what it does is it tilts the stage in certain directions. So I like again that attention to detail. This is the exclamation for a tilty ship. Knuckles is trying to collect the pieces of the Master Emerald, and therefore has tilted the ship in order to get the pieces. And again, I think that's cool. They did a really good job at making each story not necessarily significant, but blend into the other ones. So, gliding with the tilt is really good. Gliding against the tilt is hard. I'd like to know, though, if the model actually gets tilted. Or if this is some sort of perspective thing they do with the camera. It'd be cool to... I wonder if Out of Bounds YouTube channel has done a video for this game. Their stuff is cool. I recommend them because they purposely... I wouldn't say they purposely break the game, but they hack into the games and turn off boundaries so that they can get outside of the boundaries of the game and basically see what is hidden behind the boundaries, because often developers leave a lot of stuff there. There are a lot of different examples of stuff that nobody can really explain why it's there. It's just when they were developing the game, they maybe put some assets out of bounds to use later, never ended up using them, kind of forgot about them. So there is the maximum heat attack that the yellow gloves can do. Again, I think that's one of the only times I use it in the game. But anyways, I completely forgot what I was talking about, but you guys can rewind 5 seconds and tell me. But oh yeah, about out of boundary stuff. So there are 2 tutorial orbs here. That's weird. But yeah. I know in Animal Crossing in the museum, there's just like a random centipede
Oh,
up
oh no,
near the
not
top of
again.
the, what would be the
What is
ceiling
the
that
meaning
you
of
normally
this?
can't see because the camera can't bend up that far. But they have it there for some reason. There's also Mario Galaxy has a really cool one. And the very first level,
Hey,
you
what
can
happened
go
here?
to the
I
door
couldn't
of this
stop them.
house and it
They came,
gives you a
and my
message. I forget
daughter.
what the message is. Now,
I had no
in order to
idea
save time
how bad this would turn out.
and not having to program
I
an
was
actual,
shocked.
door that you can talk to, what the developers actually did is they put a sign just in
Look, it's
side
the
the
Emerald.
house.
Wait.
And what that does is it gives you a point to talk to, right? Because they already made signs, as these interactable
Is this a
objects.
dream?
So rather than making a door, they just put a sign
It's more like a
inside of the
nightmare.
house. So it looks like you're reading what the door says. I think stuff like that is cool. Again, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. One of the I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just standing. One of the NPCs you talk to is the Murma what's it called? The supercomputer in the Murma lab. Uh, they didn't want to have to make a whole, 3D model of it, interactable model. So what they did actually was they put a model of Mermaid Man inside the computer, and that's actually what you talk to. And I think stuff like that is cool. So, anyways, Knuckles is blinded by the light. So, like the curious cats we are, we gotta go see what the heck is going on. And I think this is cool. Sonic has just finished his fight against Chaos. Hey, Dr. Eggman, don't say the word hate. Didn't your mother ever teach you not to say that word?
Hey, Sonic.
Now there's a topic for discussion. What is a word that you, viewers, were told by your parents to never say? One that maybe you consider it not, maybe it's not dinner table talk, but definitely not what you consider a bad word. For some, I've heard some people say hate. They were never allowed to say hate. I've heard of an extreme once, which was afraid. The kids weren't allowed to say the word afraid, which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know how they convey the feeling of being scared when they are scared, but that's kind of why we have the word afraid. But anyways, this is Knuckles' last boss fight, and I have to correct myself. I said in an earlier part that every character's last boss fight was completely unique. It's not. Knuckles is the only one that has a boss fight from another guy, or from another campaign. Knuckles does have a unique boss fight, which is Chaos 2. Now, one thing I will give this fight credit for, and why I won't say, that it's, boring and repetitive because Sonic has done it, is because there is a little difference here. I don't know what I was doing there. But, in Knuckles' fight, those parts of the glass are broken. Also, Eggman's not the one spitting out these ice things. They're just here. Now, this is a weird attack that I don't think we've seen during Sonic's fight. But basically, he polymorphs into this weird thing, shoots out his tentacles. You gotta just avoid them. And the idea is they're supposed to kind of trap you, although when it came to that was a long throw. When it came to that, there was lots of room to avoid his tail attack. But anyways, yeah, just keep breaking these things, chuck them at him. That didn't do anything. I just got ate again by him. this fight is literally taking longer than most of the stages. But it's just a wash, rinse, repeat. But again, I said this once and I'll say it again. Sega, when you do the remake of this game, can you please give us all the forms of Chaos? I know the game was limited in space and that, so you didn't really want to have to do all of that, but I'd love to see what his other forms were supposed to look like. So there we go, we completely shattered him. We have beaten Knuckles' story. Everybody give a round of applause. And so, because we have beaten him up, we do the one thing that Sonic actually neglected to do, and we actually pick up the Chaos Emeralds again. Knuckles doesn't have to take the Chaos Emeralds, but he's like, hey, there's no reason leaving these on an exploding ship. I might as well take some bling with me. And so, once again, we see this cutscene of the ship exploding. And pummeling out of the sky. But anyways, yeah, it's been a blast doing Knuckles' story. Like I said, the levels went a lot quicker than I realized they would. Sonic Adventures 2, Sonic Adventure 2 is Knuckles' levels they're a lot bigger, so they will definitely be a little more difficult. I like how the shatter pieces look all the same, because they would not fit into that shape, looking all the same. Some of them would have to look different.
The Master Emerald and the island have been restored.
And Knuckles is blinking really slow, which is weird. So, Knuckles is restored, the Master Emerald, he is happy with himself. His island is now back in the sky and no longer part of the US's land, therefore he cannot be taxed anymore. There's a lesson for you kids. You don't want to be taxed? Just live in the sky. Nobody can tax you for living in the sky. Property tax doesn't work for the sky. It only works if you're on land. Also, can we talk about the fact of how Angel Island dropping into the ocean will cause huge tidal waves that will probably decimate entire cities?
Island forever.
Excuse me. And can we also talk about the fact that Angel Island rising back into the sky would probably cause a huge suction of water to, to fill in the space that the island used to occupy, and it would probably devastate some local harbors or people who were swimming nearby. They would probably get sucked in and drowned. But anyways, that is Knuckles' story. Not a whole lot to do with the previous two stories of Tails and Knuckles, of Sonic and Tails. But it is nice because it is a little more of a unique perspective, which I think Tails' story struggles with because there isn't very many unique parts to it. I think this game works better with its more unique stories. Each character has their own unique path and story, and they all converge at the end. It's a very classic style of storytelling. How you can have multiple main characters. Because, again, sometimes having multiple main characters is a hard thing to do. But, yeah, again, in my own opinion, as far as the different playstyles go, Knuckles is not a terrible playstyle. It's not exciting, to say the least, but it's definitely not terrible. It's probably my second least favorite though. But my least favorite, which is Biggs, is by far the worst. There's no redeeming that. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry if it's your favorite section. It's just not great. I don't like it at all. And we'll get there when we get there. But next we have Amy. Now we're getting into characters we've never played before. Amy is from Sonic CD, but we've never played her before, so this will be interesting. It will also be interesting because I've actually already recorded it months ago. So we'll see what shenanigans we get into. Hopefully I don't say anything too dumb. Or at least, dumber than things I've already said. But I completely forget what went on in that playthrough. But I hope you're enjoying Knuckles' theme. It's corny. It's corny rap, but I love it. It's great. So, anyways, I'm probably gonna bounce because, I haven't always stuck out to the end of the cutscene or the end of the credits because there's no real reason to. So, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have yourself a great evening, and we'll talk soon. See ya.